Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
Welcome to Boardgame Breakfast Live. And this is our fourth live Boardgame Breakfast episode. So we got different things. We got a interview coming up later on in the episode. We got stuff from our different contributors. We got an unboxing in which you will choose the game we unbox. Pointing a knife at the viewers?
It was not. It was sheathed.
Okay.
Just a pointing device. It's not.
Yeah. I need a knife with a laser in it. Like to teach. You could teach, you could cut things, and...
Why would you? No. You don't want to combine those
If the
two
laser
things.
is intense enough, you don't even need a knife. You could just cut things with the laser.
That's true, actually. It just needs a dial. You just need a laser pointer with a dial. Turn it up to 11. Cut the whiteboard in half.
So welcome to our Thursday. Later on today, we'll have a top 10 also. Top 10 games that have themes and don't even need them. They're still good, though. That's not quite what it's called, but something like that.
Slightly shorter, but it's basically that.
Top 10 themeless games.
Let's get to the news. Alrighty, so for the news, not as last week seemed to be a lot bigger news going on. This week's a bunch of smaller things. First of all, WizKids is reprinting Relic. Now, this Relic was the what was it called? The from Games Workshop, and it's Talisman. Relic was the 40K Talisman. That when I first saw it, I was like, that's a joke, right? And they were touting it, and then everyone loved it. So go figure. It even had. This is because Games Workshop refuses to let anyone else make miniatures of their miniatures.
Well, yeah.
Like, you can't make a 40K game and make miniatures because then I might use those miniatures in the game, and that would be anathema. So you used busts in this game of them.
Or they just really respect their product and they want to keep their hands on their product. That's pretty much what it is.
Money, money, money! Anyhow.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
interestingly enough, just like Fury of Dracula, though, this now went to WizKids, and just like Fury of Dracula, it looks the exact same. So I don't know what the deal was when Fantasy Flight and Games Workshop parted ways, but apparently Games Workshop retained the rights to, like, everything.
Yeah.
And although you can see on this one, the box says Premium Edition, so they're going to have a version where the stuff is painted. So that you can have painted busts. Well, this is WizKids' MO, and I think it works well. They said the first time they did it, they didn't expect people to buy the painted one because it cost that much more, and they sold more of that one than the end one.
That's cool.
I don't know if that's happened with every... It was Assault of the Giants, if you remember that one. And
Well,
now they've been
really
doing
massive minis, too, right? I mean, they were, like, epic on the battlefield, so...
Sure, but they do it with all their stuff now that has miniatures. All right. The Akron Art Museum is looking for video games and tabletop games from developers, students, and game creators for Open World Arcade. This is a day-long event held in the museum, Saturday, December 7th. That's pretty far from now, actually. But March 15th through June 15th submissions. So you want to do a game, go check it out. That's a cool-looking museum. I feel like I've seen that museum. Did we go to that museum? Did we see it?
Where is it?
It's in Akron?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever been to Akron.
Yeah, maybe not.
Never been to that country.
All right.
Ooh!
Green Couch Games is teaming up with Chris Bryan and illustrator Vincent Dutray. Do not put the knife
Cut the
near
screen,
tube.
Sam. Cut it. Cut his name off. Put it on my forehead. It's so pretty.
All right, this is that. That's. Here's the thing, though. That's like pretty, but I'm pretty sure the game is like this.
I'm fairly certain.
Because all the Green Couch games look like
No,
that.
actually, I think this has a board. I think I saw
it
pictures.
does say tile laying, worker placement, set collection, and action
But
collection.
the tiles are this big. No, I'm
To
kidding.
use tweezers.
Has Green Couch made a game that wasn't a small
I don't
box?
think so. But Vincent Dutray was like, "No, you're not putting my artwork in a small card game. You're gonna go find a new, printing factory. You're gonna make the largest game you've ever made if you're gonna get my
His
artwork."
artwork is so great.
That's the problem, though. I mean, with this art, I was when I saw this, I was like, ooh, feels not that I like some of the Green Couch games a lot,
Right.
But it felt like this would be wasted on a small game.
Wasted art.
But you thought it was a small game, but it's
I did.
yeah, it's not. It's it's
cool.
a larger worker placement game. It
So you
looks
can play
really neat.
Darwinauts and then Comanauts, and then Astronauts. I don't know if there's a game called Astronauts. Anyhow, this is going to be a Kickstarter.
I think there's a Russian game called Astronauts.
Probably. Detective Club. This is a party
Russian
game that
game
I
called
really
Astronauts.
enjoy a
Their name's
lot.
Cosmonaut.
And I was hoping that it would get a
You're right.
international release. And it is from BlackRock Games. They're the ones that are going to be distributing it internationally, which is interesting because I haven't seen BlackRock Games have like a huge presence in America, but maybe that will increase. This game's fantastic. Sorcerer is another game from White Wizard, who continues their fairly generic themes. Their themes are generic. I mean, the game might be good. This one here is Peter Schultz. I do not know that name, but Robert Dougherty and Darwin Castle, who have done all their other games, are coming in.
This is another card game.
Yeah, you're creating a unique sorcerer by combining one of 4 character decks with one of 4 lineage decks, so it's like a smash-up type thing.
That's cool.
Which the lineage is the style of magic you've inherited. And one of 4 domain decks, so that's 4 times 4 times 4, which is a pretty good amount of options. And that's the domain is where you honed your magical powers. Shuffle them together, you get your grimoire, and then you're ready to play. I like the concept. It's great until they release that first expansion, and then you're like, now there's 2 million combinations, and that's harder to play test at that point. But sounds cool, but looks and sounds generic too.
I agree with that.
I wish they wouldn't have called it Sorcerer. It just sounds like.
I wonder how text vocabulary heavy it's going to be.
I bet it won't be, actually.
Really?
Oh, they've not done that with their other games, have they? They're mostly symbols.
Epic was pretty heavy on
Yeah.
vocabulary.
Well, who knows?
And you can combine them. Epic Sorcerer.
That would have been a better name, actually. Villainous has won Toy of the Year.
But it's not a toy.
Well, whatever. The big news on this one for winning as a game is that this is the first time a game that's been anywhere close to the hobby has won the award. Usually it's stuff like Kaka Alarm or whatever, that sort of nonsense. No, Kaka Alarm didn't.
Kaka Alarm!
And scene.
Yes.
My word. Okay. Anyhow, another thing that's interesting is Ravensburger celebrating its what anniversary? What do you think?
Ravensburger?
Yeah.
Celebrating its
30th. 30th.
135th.
What?
So, yeah, I know.
All right. Like
So-
I said, I knew it was a lot. I said 80th. But
135th?
I don't know what they were making
why
in
would
the
they think
1800s.
like that? Like, are they thinking someone up top is ready to die? So, like, we better celebrate.
I was going to say, when you get to your
y'all better not wait to
135th
140. You know what I'm saying?
when you get to your 135th, you're just every year's an anniversary.
Jeez.
All right. WizKids has acquired the license to the Orville. So, now, so far, as far as I can tell, it's just HeroClix stuff. But, who knows? I'd like to see a board game, although I still have yet to watch the show.
Right.
The show has its raunchy parts, but it really feels like what Galaxy Quest would have been if it was a TV show.
Oh, there you go. I've heard very positive things about it across the board.
Okay.
Also from WizKids, that's most of the news today, Ravnica Inquisition. This is the first Dungeons & Dragons social deduction game because we so much needed that. Oh, I'm sorry, not Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering. Fair enough. Magic the Gathering social deduction game. Is that better?
I wonder if this is like
No.
that Werewolf Inquisition game. There was one of those.
You're pledging, join the Gatewatch or pledge your loyalty to Nicola Bolas. Each player takes the role of a representative of a Ravnican guild that's loyal to one of those two.
Simic, baby.
The loyalists are tasked with discovering who the agents of Bolas are, while the agents simply need to survive.
That's what I basically
You're going to elect leaders for each of the 5 colors. But players, guilds, colors, pairs contain a color that can be voted for. If you are a color leader, then you have a power.
Correct.
So it doesn't sound like it's a copy of another game.
No.
But it does sound like another social deduction game. And I need one of those like a hole in the head. But hey, if it gets Magic the Gathering people to play social deduction games, then that's what's going to happen.
You do need
Magic the
some
Gathering
holes.
players are gonna play
You
social
almost said,
deduction.
well, that's good, but you then realized.
No, they're going to play the social deduction game, and then that's the end of that. Alrighty. Well,
You do need some holes in your head.
No, he said,
Seven.
You just
like,
don't
I need another.
hole.
Yeah,
you just don't need another hole in your head.
well, if I get like a cheek piercing. Okay, anyway. Let's get to the Kickstarter news and award news. Here we go.
Now, I'm going to show you a grand strategic war game. Basically, it's all of World War II. All 6 years. All of it. Australian design group World in Flames Classic, the Collector's Edition. A game 35 years in the making. This game is big, and all the countries that participated in World War II are here. USA, Russia, the Commonwealth, Germany, Japan, and more. That's 7 counter sheets. That's 1,600 little counters. Yep. This game has it all. Weather, politics, industry. Look, if the weather's bad, it's going to affect your soldiers on the ground. If the industry's bad, they have no oil, how do you want your tanks to run? And the politics? Enough said. So this game is a 1 to 6 player game. It solos very well. The rulebook is 96 pages long. Don't worry, relax, it's well written. And how long does it take to play? Well, look, I'll tell you later. This game comes with 6 mounted board maps. Yep. Now, how big are these maps? Well, the size of your kitchen table, assuming you have a big one. So that's me sitting at my 7-foot dining table with the 6 mounted map boards. And there's a short little movie showing you 2 of the mounted map boards on my 7-foot dining table. These are the other 2 map boards showing you a little bit of Africa, Europe, Russia, and a little bit of the Middle East. And you're probably saying, Dan, where's North America? Well, all you have to do is ask. Here's your map of North and South America and United States of America with Canada. I wanted to show you a small monster war game because there are bigger war games. Who would play this? Well, 6 people, or you yourself, who wants to hunker down. A short scenario will take you 1 to 2 hours. The campaign will take you 10 to 120 hours. Yeah. That's 3 work weeks. But don't think of it like that. Think of it as a World War II Dungeons and Dragons thing where you carry over from week 3-4 months. You won the war, or you lost. Look, it took them 6 years. World in Flames is designed and published by the Australian Design Group. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more about war games, please check out my channel, and I'll see you next week.
Hello fellow gamers. So this week we kind of have a light week for Kickstarters, but I really feel like we've been bombarded with a whole bunch of really great ones lately. So just go ahead and sit back and let's take some deep relaxing breaths together and get started. Featured this week, we have Exploration by Ply. This is for 1 to 5 corporate space captains looking to secure their position in the space race by colonizing ships, sending out science expeditions, collecting resources, and of course, sabotaging your opponents by blasting them out of the sky for 30 to 150 minutes. As this game combines area control, orbital pattern movements, and deck building. Entry into this space race has a base cost of $80, which is far less than launching your own science program. Now, speaking of technology in the future, next up we have Mechanica by Resonim, which is for 1 to 4 robots, definitely not looking to take over the human race in this engine building game, which has you conveniently play out of the box, as players are tasked with placing factory upgrade tiles, improving those tidy bots, and then shipping those little death vacuums around the world and getting paid for about 60 minutes. Now, a pledge to get this game filled with killer robots to your home is $39. However, if you're suddenly thinking, man, robots are really cool, but I need more murder in my game, then maybe The Big Easy, a Deadlands Noir card game by Last Line Games, will sate your thirst as 2 to 4 detectives investigate a crime set in the horrific world of the Deadlands. Equip yourself with enchanting weapons and search the streets of New Orleans. Encounter challenges like werewolves and be the first to collect all the clues for 40 to 60 minutes. Pricing for this game starts at $30, and it certainly puts an interesting Dresden Files twist on the detective scene. And finally, to cap off our somewhat murderous collection of Kickstarters today, we have Storming the Gap, World at War by Lock and Load Publishing, as 1 to 4 captains face off in an alternate timeline set in 1985, where World War III is upon us and the Soviet hordes are looking to Germany for conquest through Europe. This wargame has 20 unique scenarios, which will last anywhere between 30 minutes to 2.5 hours, and it keeps all players involved, as the attacking and defending units will get a chance to roll dice, with a starting pledge for $70 for this game. Now for expansions and reprints, we have Aeon's End, The New Age by Indie Boards and Cards. This is for $69, which gives you 200 plus player cards, 7 different mages, and 100 plus nemesis cards, and a whole lot more. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out. We also have Alone's second print run by Horrible Games. Here you can get extras in the campaign for just $15, or if you want the entire game, they do have a pledge level for $100 on that. We also have the Millennium Blades Collusion expansion by Level 99 Games, which is the final expansion in the series, and this is starting at $60. And lastly, we have Dino Meeple upgrades for Dinosaur Island by Meeple Source. Look at those adorable little ancient chickens. Prices for these guys start at just $24. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. So if you enjoyed any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, make sure to check me out on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time as we talk about all of these Kickstarters live, so you guys can comment and join in on what you think of them. Other than that, I will see you guys all next week.
Randy and Ellen, we game together.
It's your turn.
Ooh.
Hey guys, I'm Randy.
I'm Ellen. We're We Game Together.
We are.
And today we're talking about a game that I'm not going to gush about, really.
Yeah,
we do a lot of gushing.
We usually pick games that we like.
So.
And this time, I like it still. So I'm on track.
He's
Ellen
on the
doesn't
gush
like
track.
it.
I'm on the not gush track.
Well, I wouldn't gush.
Yeah, he wouldn't gush.
But I like
That's
it.
true. Not like Carpe Diem.
Yes.
Okay, Discoveries. I don't know, man. I played it at 3-player. I played it at 2-player. Both times was like this mental strain. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was either. You were something about it. You were just not clicking with. Not even just not clicking. Like, I think you were just so disinterested in it.
I was
that
so.
you didn't. Your like brain was going. No, you know what? I don't even care.
I didn't care.
I'm not even gonna try to learn.
I didn't care at all.
I'm not gonna remember any of the symbols.
Nope.
I think that's what happened.
I think that's what happened. You just nailed it. And I have tried to articulate why I don't like this game. The number one reason I can think of, besides just vibe, I'm a huge vibe person. If I don't get a good vibe from something, you're out of my life.
You're vibey.
I'm very vibey. The board seems a little messy to me and like not very flowy. And
for the record, everything she's saying, I disagree with personally. But that's fine. You can have your own opinion, I guess.
I do have that.
We're not gaming together on this one. So this is a terrible segment.
Never game together with this one. I don't know. I don't like it. So there.
Yeah,
why
it's
do
on
you
the,
like it? How about we tell people why you
It's
would
on
like
the
it?
trade list, not by my choice. That's okay.
Yeah.
We could buy something that we like together. There's lots of games.
There are lots of games. So
Why do I like it?
Yeah, why
well,
do you
it's
like
been
it?
quite a while since we played it. So
He doesn't remember.
Let me try to think of
He doesn't
way back.
remember.
But no, I thought just with the way that the dice worked, and you have to collect certain dice, and then you can have you get cards that modify your dice, and just different ways of routes that you can take to try to get down the river, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do. Get combinations. Get combinations of dice so that Lewis and Clark can travel down to the river.
That
Training
that makes
with Native
sense.
Americans
I know
along the
about
way.
them, people, but
I think it's good. I think you can check it out.
check it out.
I think so.
Don't trust me. I can honestly say that because I don't mesh with it vibe wise, and that's a big deal for me. So you might
that's
love
fine.
it.
There's
You
tons
might
of
love it.
games.
I don't know.
We'll pick something else.
It's got pink in it, which I appreciate.
Well, there you go.
That's all that matters.
But it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. It didn't make it.
All right, guys, and we'll see the picture of the day. Instagram,
All that
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We have like a tweet.
We have one and one half.
Yeah, we don't
tweets.
use, we don't use that that much.
someone goes-
Keep following us, and we'll tweet more.
Someone goes, your Twitter page looks very clean.
That would be accurate.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Here I have Pushover, the Piggyback Marathon game, published in 1981 by Parker Brothers. This is a 2 to 4 player game in which you're racing around the board, trying not to get pushed over the edge. Let me set this up and show you how it works. This is what the game board would look like set up. At the beginning of the game, everybody's going to pick a different color piggybacker. Now you're going to have a group of golden rings here. You're going to take one ring at the beginning of the game and put it here, and this is called the pot. The first player is going to take a carrier and place his piggybacker on the carrier, and here's the start space, and you're going to take it to the first notch. On every single one of your turns, you're going to take these 3 dice and you're going to roll at least one of them. The dice are numbered 1, 2, and 3. Now, when you roll the dice, you have the decision after you make the first roll if you want to roll a second dice. The only trick to this is that you cannot go over 4 points. So if you go over 4 points at any given turn, you have done a rollout and you will lose your piggybacker, and then you'll add a golden ring to the pot. Now there is a bonus for rolling more than 1 dice. On a roll of 1 dice, you'll just roll the number that you've rolled along the notches. If you roll 2 dice, depending on if you didn't go over 4, you are going to move double the amount. So if I rolled this, a 4, I will move 8 spaces along the track. And if you roll 3 dice without going over 4, it's going to be times 3 movement along the track. Now there are 2 spots here and here where you can push your opponent off of the board. For example, if the board looks like this, he's an opponent's there, and you're coming around the track here, and you're moving from here, you can push your opponent off as you make the turn. Same thing over here. As you're making your way around the track, if you pass or land here, you're going to get all the rings in the pot and put them in your scoring row. You're then going to take another ring and put it in the pot to start the next round. The object of the game is to get 10 rings in your row. You do that, you win the game. Now, besides Yahtzee, this is the first game that I can remember that you were rolling dice and pushing your luck to see if you can get a better movement along the board. Now, yes, this game was way overproduced, but man, it is great fun. Well, join me next time where I showcase another great board game from the past. And as always, may your rolls be high.
Howdy folks, welcome to By the Numbers. My name is Hunter Thomason from the Family Showdown. Each episode of By the Numbers, we take a look at a board game numeric related topic. This week's topic, a year of change in the Board Game Geek Top 100. My first episode of By the Numbers was about 1 year ago in February 2018. For that episode, I downloaded the BGG Top 500 games. I thought it would be interesting to take a look back and see what's changed from then until now. There were only 3 games that were not in the top 500 last year that are in the top 100 this year. They are Brass Birmingham coming in at number 22, Rising Sun at number 50, and Root at number 79. The biggest jump among games that were on the top 500 last year that were on the top 100 this year is Spirit Island. The cooperative hotness jumped from 134 all the way up to number 16. We talked about the biggest winner, so now let's talk about the biggest loser. The game that dropped the most it was on the top 100 last year is Time Stories. It dropped from 42 to 64. Are the stories getting a little old? But overall, the top 100 didn't have that much change. 10 games dropped off, 10 new games came on, and the top 10 remained largely unchanged. Taking a look at the top 10, we see that only 1 game was able to break into the top 10, and that is Gaia Project, which leapfrogged its big brother, Terra Mystica, into number 8 on the list. So there you have it, a year of change on the Board Game Geek Top 100. Only 10%. That's not very much. See you next time.
Hey, and now it's back to you guys here who are watching the show live. We're going to bring in 2 games. So Kenny has some games for us. We don't know what they are.
Hey man, don't touch my computer. What's wrong with you?
And you're going to pick which one of these we unbox. So as soon as you see them, type the one that you want, so because of the delay and all that jazz.
Okay.
All right, what do we got?
Captains of the Gulf
By Jason
or
Dinger.
Prehistory.
All right.
It'll be
so
okay.
Prehistory is from A Games,
Hey.
and Captains of the Gulf is from Spielworks. Well, I know which one I hope people vote for, but I'm not saying because spitefulness will happen.
Yeah, me too.
So should we use like reverse psychology?
Because then they'll know that.
Oh.
So I'll use reverse psychology.
Dutch Yoda says that one. What are we getting? Prehistory seems to be the front runner there.
Yep, that's definitely prehistory.
Oh, Pandemic. Someone said Pandemic.
Oh, good.
Bust it out.
All right.
I've already seen this game in real life. They play
In
it
real
like
life,
that.
you said?
In real life, not in this fantasy world we're in.
This is all computer generated, folks.
IRL.
We're not real.
Okay, so this says we are running out of food. The area around our campsite doesn't have enough supplies for this many of us.
So I'm pillaging your campsite.
The tribe has no choice. We again have to move on and to survive.
Oh, that's the choice? I would have killed
Now
some
we
people.
must travel to discover new areas, look in every nook and cranny. And just to go on our own
No one
ways.
cares about that.
That's
backstory.
the worst. I think that's the worst line I've ever heard in anything.
What?
Looking in every nook and cranny for something to eat.
Ugh.
Think about that.
That is pretty gross. I like the cover though.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool cover.
Still grossed out.
And the rule book
By the way,
in multiple languages.
by me taking the rule book and doing this is not disrespecting a game.
Oh, they say that?
On the last one, they said we disrespected the.
There you go. Here we go. English rules. So we're just gonna flip to it real quick. Look. Oh, a lot of pictures.
Okay, the rule book looks good.
Yeah. Looks good. Okay, I guess this is a Tom unboxing.
It has to be. We're live.
Those are nice.
We're working on the puzzle.
Can I touch several
This
of
doesn't go
these?
together like that.
It sure doesn't.
I got it.
Oh, look, there's a little dot there you're supposed to punch.
Here. Come on. Hey,
What? Oh, now
dude,
you're
I'm waiting for your half the board.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know it's a two-piece puzzle and you have a harder time.
Oh, I almost got that in your hat.
Oh, this is worse than normal.
Hold on, man.
Go ahead.
All right, so
You'll poke my
this
eye
is gonna
out.
go right there, okay? And this is gonna go right here.
That stay? Yes.
Look at that.
That's cool.
Is this Stonehenge?
Wow, yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, look. That one is the one.
It's not close enough to the highway though, so probably.
I agree.
All right.
That looks cool.
So these are player boards. It
boards.
looks like, yeah.
Wow. I gotta say, the production on this is pretty top-notch, in my opinion.
Your what?
My opinion.
Oh,
These are printing out pretty good.
Yeah, but they look good, though.
Right.
They don't look. Are they
Artwork.
different, though?
is that an umbrella? A modern age umbrella?
No, they're the same. I was hoping that they would have different trees and different spots, but it
No.
looks.
No,
No,
they do.
that's different than that one.
Definitely.
Oh, that's a ficus. I don't know what ficus
What a
is.
weirdo.
All right. So anyway, that's
Ficus.
these. A lot of.
Ha ha! Look what's not in here.
What happened?
Look what's not in there.
stickers. Excuse me. Oh.
No yellow.
There's no yellow?
It's purple, blue,
There's yellow
orange,
on
and
here,
green. Yellow's a resource. You can be the resources.
All right, I shall be gold.
Huh.
All right. Got some cards. Where's my... There we go. There's a lot of mammoths. I mean, everywhere. Oh, now there's also rhinos.
Mammoth and rhinos.
There's fishies.
My favorite food.
They're going to make a sequel to this where your camp is out of food, and so you need to go to McDonald's. It's
Look
the
in every
modern
nook
age.
and cranny. Get yourself a McNugget. Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
that's gross.
Yeah, think about it.
No.
Get yourself that McNugget.
Well, I think that's it.
Made
Yeah?
of
That is
mammoth
it. So that's the
meat.
unboxing of prehistory. I'm actually
That looks
interested in
good.
this one.
Let me punch another thing.
You may see this in a future Testing Tuesday, actually. This one looks like the kind of game that we all might play.
Yeah. Mine stuck well, by the way. I had 3 chances, but
Let
one
me
of
get
them
that
stuck.
knife. I can knock it off.
No, wait, what? What? Cut to the next segment. folks, let's take a break from our show real briefly to do a interview. And today we're going to have two folks with us. We have Travis Chance from Colossal Games, and we have Karen Noblaw, designer of a game that's coming out. So let's start first by saying hello to Travis.
Hi, how's it going?
And that's enough out of you. So now Travis, this is a new game that Karen is designing for you guys and is on Kickstarter right now. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So Karen is the designer of a game called Consumption. It is a game about food. It's about how different types, how food works in our body, how you can use food as fuel, it's just about food. I'm going to let Karen talk. She's the expert in the category here.
I agree. So Karen, tell us a little bit about what made you want to design a game about this.
I'm a dietitian, so my interest has been food for a very long time, and I'm always on the lookout for games about food. And the ones I always find tend to be very light, or they're, just silly kind of games, and I wanted something more. And so one day I just decided I'm going to draw out what I think would be kind of interesting for me. And from there, it just kind of turned into this monster that eventually became Consumption, that now Colossal is publishing. So I'm super excited.
Now, so you're saying it's about food and consumption, but what exactly is going on in this game?
So what you're doing, everybody has a role in the game almost, where you are playing a type of eater. So you can be a vegetarian, you could be a junk food junkie. There's a variety of things. And the goal of the game is to try to meet whatever your specific food needs are. And you will do this by going shopping and making recipes, going out to eat, going to farmers markets, and collecting these various nutrient groups into your body. And you will find throughout the game that you might be getting too much of a particular nutrient type. And so whenever you want to get rid of things, you have to work out. So it is this kind of very intuitive game where you're getting calories, you're burning energy, and the main goal is to complete certainly recipes, get activities done, and score points by doing all of those things.
So this is interesting. It's not like at first I thought you were saying something like an educational game to eat healthy, but in this game you can actually, your goal could be to eat unhealthily?
Yes.
Well, now I'm very intrigued. So like how many different roles are there in the game?
Right now I think there's 5 or 6. I can't recall, but I know there's a picky eater. There is a junk food junkie. There's a vegetarian. There's paleo, which is one of the most popular ones. Anti-inflammatory. So if you want to be on the healthier side, you can choose that one. And I can't remember. I think that might be all of them. There might be one more. I can't recall.
Cleanse.
Oh yeah, the cleanse, which is the solo version of the game. You want to end up with nothing in your body but water at the end.
I believe, is there like a prune juice card then? I feel so. What kind of game is it? I mean, you explained the theme. That's interesting. Like, how do you go about doing this?
Worker placement, resource management, small dice play,
role selection,
set collection. There's a set collection for activities as well. So it kind of incorporates a variety of common mechanisms, but I think uses it in a very unique way.
Yeah, I think the thing that is really innovative in the design is how the grocery store. So when you go to get food from the grocery store, when you go shopping, you don't have money. You sort of have this fixed amount of money, and then it's a grid. You roll 2 dice, and they're your craving dice. Is that what they're called, Karen?
Yeah.
So the idea there in being don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. So if the dice are on the column or row, depending, if they're cheaper, the food is cheaper. If you go off of that, if you deviate off of that, or if it's completely something that's not in the grocery store at all, then it has an extremely high cost. So you can always get the things that you want, but you get a better price on the things that are in the row and the column based off of your die roll, which I think is a really clever little mechanism.
So this game here, you're trying to get this food. What you mentioned that this that you didn't see many games with this theme. But what made you want to design a game to begin with?
I'm a gamer. I have been pretty hardcore gamer for probably the last 10 years. And like I said, I wanted to play something related to food that I was interested in, so this is it's a medium weight game. So it's, again, not a party game, it takes about 2 hours or so for a full 4-player game. So there's strategy, there's depth, and there's food, which are all the things that I really like in life. So there it is.
There's even cute things like, Tom, you have a kitchen, and when you collect food and you put it into your pantry, it has a spoil rate. So like you actually have to get the food and actually utilize it and turn it into a recipe so you can consume it to put it into your body, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, it will go bad and end up in the garbage, which is points against you at the end of the game. And there's also an encouragement for balance. And I think that's really the main point of the game is, as in life, it's all about balance. And so you are encouraged to not only cook recipes in the game, you're also encouraged to work out. There is also a strategy that people like to try anyway, which is going out to eat and trying to work it off, right? So you can kind of choose however you are in real life to play this game, and a lot of people do that. There's also potentially, I don't know if I can say this, potential for there is some food allergy possibly happening, where you can get a particular food allergy and play with that, which obviously ups the challenge a little bit. But people really like those.
So this, you said, is your first game design, and so how did you get to the point where you're here with Colossal Games?
Played it at a lot of cons, had a lot of support, lots and lots of people talking about it. And I think the reviews started showing up on BGG that were very positive. And I think one person got to tell another person, and before you know it, Mark Burke had found out about it. And his obviously relationship with Travis, I think, was kind of how that happened. So it was quite exciting, I have to say, to get an email from Mark Burke saying, "Hey, we saw your game and we're wanting to know more about it." So yeah, it was certainly unexpected, but very appreciated.
Travis, what attracted you to picking this up?
So this was Karen's game was, I believe, the third game I signed, maybe the second game I signed. I was trying to build a pretty diverse catalog. I really liked Karen's story. Obviously, I like that this comes from from her own experience as a dietitian. I also thought that it was interesting that it wasn't this sort of kind of throwaway game like, hey, we make a ham sandwich and we just stack a bunch of cards on top of each other and that's the mechanism. It was a more, dare I say, scientific sort of approach to the idea. I thought there was just something really, I'm not trying to sound over the top, there was something kind of brave about the fact that she stuck to her guns. Because I talked to other publishers who had been interested in it and who had said, hey, why don't you turn this into zombies? Or why don't you make this be crew on a spaceship? And, Karen's like, no, I want this. This is my idea. This is my vision. And she stuck to her guns and she found somebody who believed in that idea. And so to me, that's the one of the really coolest parts of consumption is Karen picking a very non-traditional theme, and where a lot of game designers would be eager just to see their game see the light of day and jump ship on what the theme was or what their vision might be. And she stuck to her guns until she found somebody. And I'm glad that Colossal was that company. So
I am too.
Now, Karen, this is right now, folks, if you want to back this Kickstarter, there's a link in the description of our video down below. Karen, we're assuming by the time people hear this, the game's already funded. It's doing fantastic. Do you have plans to do future designs?
I do. I'm actually working on one right now, and tonight I'm going to be taking it to a con to put it in front of some play testers, some co-designer friends of mine, and see how that goes. So, maybe in a couple of years there will be something new I can share, but definitely alpha stages right now.
I'm really excited about this on a personal level because food and eating food is, I think, a theme that everyone on Earth partakes in. I mean, everyone deals with food, and yet there's not enough good themes about it. And I'm kind of fascinated about this because, again, most of the time I hear diet and I think, oh, it's going to be a game that's like, at the end of the results, like, hey, eat healthier. I already knew that. This sounds really intriguing, and I can't wait to see it. Congratulations, Karen.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
And thank you guys for coming on board. Thank you folks for watching. Let's keep going. All right. Okay, so that intro said FOMO, but the
FOMO.
screen says analysis paralysis.
Yes.
I'm confused.
Well, let me explain it to you.
Oh, Snapple flavors.
All right, so as we're talking about these gamer stereotypes, these are not. He took my.
What happened? Huh? What? Why do you have a fear of missing out?
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about analysis paralysis. I know, yeah. Analysis paralysis is one of those gamer problems. Not really a stereotype, right? It's a problem or an issue. It's an opportunity, whatever you might say, that we encounter in playing games. And I think part of the problem, at least, is that there is a fear of missing out. You have a fear of missing out on the optimal move. For example, I think the last time I played that game that, good night, I can't remember the name of it now, the one where you're Moncala moving things around, the one that you like.
5 Tribes.
5 Tribes, yeah, I was thinking 7 Tribes.
I don't think people say 5 tribes.
5 Tribes! Put it on the ball! Oh, wait, let me think about things.
No. Yes,
I'll
think about
drop
things,
this
exactly.
off, and I'll drop that off.
The last time I played this game, I don't know if they were trolling. I don't think they were, but I was trying to take my turn.
I do now. I'll come by and be like, what's that move you're making?
Yes, exactly. And they'll say, oh, you should do that.
I mean, we don't say what that is, though.
Right. You don't say it. You just go, oh, wow,
there's
I know
a
exactly
good move.
what you should do.
You only paid 3 for that move, man. This is good. I mean, we're not going to, no, go ahead. It's fine.
And so that sends me into this, brain clutch down mode of I must find what they're talking about, and I'm not going to make a move until I do. Until I get so frustrated that I'm like, stupid, whatever. And I do this absolutely inferior move, and they're like, well, you should have done this. And it was very similar to what I just did, but twice as good or whatever. So part of,
I feel like you're blaming other people.
No. I struggle with analysis paralysis. I do.
Fear of blaming others.
Absolutely. But part of it is because I fear that I'm playing
FOMO?
Inferiorly. That's not a word, but you get what I'm saying, right? So I'm wondering what you guys think. Is analysis paralysis like that? Or is it just certain types of people want to, I don't know.
I think analysis paralysis is caused by a few things. I think it's caused by that. Sometimes people just have slower thought processes.
Which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Which is more acceptable, but I find that most of the time it's by the person who wants to win at all costs. Even though I clearly said there's no money on the game, and no one cares, and take your turn, and they played 6 games in the time we're taking to play this one. But I don't care if you have analysis paralysis, it doesn't bother me at all.
Somebody said, Family Showdown says, I need therapy for my 5 Tribes experience.
I think it is a, look, on the one hand, I get it. You want to do your best. Winning is sort of a byproduct of that according to whatever the rules of this game are, right? But you want to do your best. You really want to try to challenge yourself to come out ahead and get the most points you can. That's fun, whether you win or not. But also, yeah, it's not that important to not make little mistakes. Now, having said that, I think I'd be lying if I didn't often catch myself having made a mistake a turn earlier or two and be like, oh, stupid mistake.
Sure, but that's life.
Right.
Not to me, baby. I don't make mistakes.
What else does the peanut gallery say?
Well, there's just a lot of, they're telling me not to play 1830 with veterans.
I could have told you that. That has nothing to do with this.
No,
just don't do it.
That's I think that's called, that's a different stereotype called masochism.
Dutch Yoda says his father has analysis paralysis, but it's because he's looking for a way to break the game instead of playing and enjoying it.
Oh, boo. Boo.
Come on.
That's the Joe Stedman approach.
Yeah.
Ken Parker said it well. He says nobody wants to look stupid playing a game, so
I think
it
it's
could
a big
take
part
time
of
to
it.
think
But
about how to do that.
I guess though the thing is when I play games with people, I don't leave the game thinking what a moron. I usually when I'm done with a game day, I don't go home thinking, man, I played with stupid people today. I think, no, that guy took forever on his turns.
Is it bad if you do think that?
What are you saying?
I'm just asking a question. I have a friend
Is it
of mine.
something you think on Tuesdays?
For my friends.
There's a friend of mine who sometimes plays with people who
No, I'm not talking about people who
are
understand
less
the
than
rules.
smurf.
I'm talking about I don't play a game with someone who made a mistake halfway through and think, I don't want to play games with this person. No.
Oh, for sure. No, that's.
But if that person takes 10-minute turns, I'll remember that.
Well,
yeah, whether you win or not at that point, I'm like, oh.
Right. And I will avoid you in the game group if you're slow.
I
won't avoid you if you make bad
couple
mistakes.
of things. Vanessa says some games I just get overwhelmed and don't know what move to make.
Yes,
Jeff
absolutely.
Rodemaker says there's a difference between I don't know what to do AP and I don't know which to choose from AP. And he says that he thinks we're talking about the former. I don't know what to do.
Sure, but I've often seen people, they like, oh, I can do this, but is there something better?
So which one
That's
is that?
fear
The
of missing
first or
out.
the second?
I think it's a mixture, right?
Because the whole, I don't know. See, I never suffer from the second one. Like, I don't know. These are the choices. They all sound pretty good, but let me slow down and figure out exactly which one will net me that 2 extra points. I don't think I suffer from that as much as the first one, which is just my brain locks up because I'm like, I don't know what makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is the one I suffer from when we play the castle game. Emperor Vlad and his stupid windy castle. What's it called?
I don't know.
Not Vlad. You're talking about Castle of the Mad King of the Big.
That cat.
Vlad's a different game.
Trevin Taylor says my dad gets locked in the loop of if I do A, I'll miss out on B. If I do B, I'll miss out on A.
Yes, that's how games work, though.
FOMO.
True, but that
Buy one,
that
get
I
one
think
free.
is kind of at the core of what I was thinking about when I came up.
This is what Jason would be like. He'll sit there and complain and be like, I can't do everything. And I'd be
Correct.
like, good. You're not supposed to be able to do everything in the game.
Yeah, Chad also said that he thinks it's important to distinguish between thinking too much about your turn and then having your turn messed up because the person that went before you messed up what you were going to do.
Right.
There's a difference there because if the person that went right before you completely takes out what you were planning on doing, you have to stop and think about what you're going to do.
Sure, and that's acceptable.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's also the least unacceptable is the person who doesn't think about their turn till it is their turn.
Agreed. You
You're
got to
like,
be thinking about this. You should have a plan, and then maybe if the game allows, a little bit of a backup plan. Yeah.
Sure.
For that sort of thing to happen.
But I play AP in a lot of games where you don't even get affected by the other people. And I'll be like, hey, I'm not saying this for any particular person, although I am. But it's okay if you think about your move ahead of time so that when it's your turn, you can go quickly.
Jeff Rodemaker says, be honest, Sam,
Passive aggressive, put that on the list for an upcoming.
I'm pretty much
have you ever done
not a lot
something?
of passive.
Have you ever done to someone in Blood Rage what we were talking about was done to me in Five Tribes? That's what he asked, and I no, I don't think so because
objection
in Blood Rage, your cards are determining your strategy. So I can't really tell you what the optimal strategy for you to do because I don't know what cards you have in your hand.
Grab them and look
I know the pool of cards that you pulled from, but I don't know the specific cards that you have. So I can't tell you I know exactly what you should do because I don't know what cards you kept in your hand. But in Five Tribes, you're looking at the thing.
Same stuff.
Everything is, it's like there's more information available to everybody in Five Tribes.
Do you think part of that can be reduced by a game design that discourages it? I mean, that hides more information, that's more obscured?
Well, yeah, I think certain game designs lean heavily towards the possibility of analysis paralysis.
I'm just saying, whenever I can, I like to blame the designer. You know what I mean?
I like to blame the other players and the designer. It's pretty much everyone except me.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you have comments on this and you're not watching live, let us know afterwards. If there's certain stereotypes you'd like to see us talk about in the future,
Yeah, let us
put
know.
those in the comments.
Very cool.
But for now, we got some more people to talk about games.
Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I hope you're enjoying your board game breakfast. Today's solo game that I want to spotlight is Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden, designed by Todd Sanders. Mechanically speaking, Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden is just a card drafting game. You get to choose a vegetable card from a set of 3 cards, you place it in your garden, and you score based on whether you have put vegetables of the same type next to each other, or managed to plant a garden where the vegetables are in certain particularly pleasing arrangements that'll get you bonus points. But if you thought that your garden was going to be left in peace, you were wrong. You have several tedious neighbors who, while you go on holiday, are going to come into your garden and steal a vegetable card and mess with all of your plans. But the thing that makes this game so charming is its theme. So, I admit the art looks really weird. Yes, you are a vegetable person who plants vegetables, and your neighbors are vegetable people who eat your vegetables. And that is a thing in this game. But there's something so pastoral and charming and endearing about this game. You know, you're planting your garden to win the heart of the lovely Eudora Brassica. You have these tedious neighbors. You sort of get classily irritated with them. There's something so sort of peaceful and calming and cute about the theme. And I love the art, actually. It's definitely weird looking, and people will look at you funny when you play it in public. But it's actually inspired by vintage seed packets. And if you go look those up, you will find a lot of interesting vegetable people. So if you're looking for a quick, light, puzzly card game with a little bit of luck in it and a cute theme, then I can definitely recommend Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden. It's good fun, and you'll find yourself playing more than one game in a row. So Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden was recently kickstarted, so there are published copies out there. But if you cannot find one, the game actually began its life as a print and play. So you can just go onto Board Game Geek, find Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden, and go to town. Happy gaming!
Gamers say you can't judge a game by its box cover, but non-gamers disagree. This is Box Theory.
In Everdell, you are collecting resources and spending them to create a new village in the world of Everdell. Let's see what our first theory is.
Okay, in Everdell is a place that gets filled with gas and they die.
Whoa!
Except for some people, and they try to save the little mouse. I guess maybe they see the sunlight coming in as like just gas.
It has a little toxic fume.
It kind of ruins that storybook.
Yeah,
to
whoa.
Children's look.
Oh man.
In Everdell, this game is about raccoons who battle enemies and eat garbage.
Is there a raccoon on there?
I think that's a badger. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the badger kind of looking.
In Everdell, you are on a quest for an ancient old badger, and if you succeed, you unlock new characters and quests.
Ooh, if you kickstarted it,
they did get the badger. They know their animals.
Yeah, at least that person knows that that's not a raccoon. You reenact childhood stories scripts.
Oh, that'd be fun, like a storytelling game.
Yeah,
it does look like a storybook.
Yeah,
I will give them that.
Yeah, it does. It's
pretty good.
Very much so.
You play as a honey badger to try and survive the chipmunk apocalypse.
Honey badger don't care.
Honey badger. Everdell, the atomic bomb has just hit. You need to survive in the forest. What's with these dark gas?
Ooh, all right, and finally, you build a village for Thumbelina.
Thumbelina fairy?
I don't even remember I know the name.
I could see it is bright, like to impress her, I guess, like Snow White. I don't know.
Yeah.
But...
Thanks for tuning in to another Box Theory. Remember to follow us on our social media pages.
If you had a game you'd like to see a box theory of, or if you have a box theory about Everdell, let us know in the comments below.
For BGW, I'm Colby.
I'm Steven. And we're gaming for the weekend.
Greetings and welcome to the Mega Meeple. I am Thomas Grogan, and hey, where's all my games? What? Oh, there they are over there. I'm in the process of moving the Mega Meeple studio from one room to the next, and now I have to remove the gaming table. There it is. As you see, we just got done playing a End of the World campaign. But yeah, now I gotta move all the games and shelves over to this side, which actually made me think about something. When you organize your games on a shelf, how do you do it? Do you do it by publisher? Do you do it by alphabetic? You know, I saw one person who actually organizes by color scheme. So they had this whole mosaic thing going on. That was pretty cool. And also, when you put your games on the shelves, what constitutes whether you store them on its edge or lying flat? and what decides that. So sound off in the comments down below. Let me know what your methods are, and maybe learn something. And hopefully by next week, I will have everything all set up and ready to go proper, and we don't have to have all this wiggly-woggly hair stuff going on. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great breakfast.
Hello guys, it's Cardboard Rhino, and welcome to Rhino Says Yes. Today's recommendation is a beautiful, fast-paced area control game about tea. It's none other than Ceylon. Ceylon is actually what the nation of Sri Lanka was called back in the 19th century, and at that time a deadly fungus killed off all the coffee plantations on the island and caused an economic crisis. In Ceylon, players take on the roles of pioneers who substituted coffee with tea and developed the Ceylon tea industry. Players plant tea in different districts and harvest different quality tea from different altitudes. At the 0 level, you can plant and harvest black tea. At the first level, green tea, and the second level, which is more rare, it's the white one. In your turn, you play a card from your hand, performing the action you place at the top part, and the other action, as well as the 2 alternative ones, are available for the other players to do. If you choose to plant, you place a plantation tile with your marker on the board on the hex you're standing, and this costs rupees. Harvesting doesn't cost any money, and it allows you to harvest a plantation on the hex you're on and any adjacent ones. You may even harvest plantations of other players as well, but you give them a victory point in return for each one. Then we have the trade action, which allows you to export specific combination of your harvested tea depicted in 3 available contracts at any one time. These give you victory points or rupees. You place the contract on an available space on your player board. Contracts of the same company go into the same space, while different companies need a new available space, which means you will need to plant more so that you free up the spaces on your player board. Another action is to advance in technological development, which gives you a token that you can use to do an extra action in your turn, and you also get bonus points at certain points on the track. You can also contract the counselor of the district your player pawn is in to get a permanent ability. The 2 alternative actions of each card are move. Your first move is for free, and then there is added cost the more steps you make, or you can get 2 rupees from the supply. The game ends when a player placed all their plantation markers or when you run out of action cards. Players score points for having the majority of rupees, being more technologically advanced, having the majority of plantations per district with the prerequisite of having consulted the respective district councillor, the number of different trade companies, and you get negative points for leftover markers. One undeniable fact about this game is that it's very elegant, the production quality is very high, and the mechanics fit very well with the theme. What I enjoyed the most was the pace of the game. The fact that you can do actions not only in your turn but also in other players' turns makes it exciting, makes the biggest difference in terms of strategy, which actions to leave available for others, and it also means that there's no downtime. It's midweight to light, so it's a great gateway game to attract new people to area control games. Plus, it's very pretty to look at, so Rhino says yes to Ceylon. It's definitely worth a look.
Have you played any of the Tiny Epic games by Gamelin Games? Well, they have one now on Kickstarter. They were keeping it a secret for a while. Now I'll share you what to expect from Tiny Epic Tactics coming up. Hi, it's Stella from Meeple University. On our channel we do a lot of overview, playthrough, how to play and vlog, just like this one. Today I'll show you what it is about Tiny Epic Tactics. Now let's get to the table. Tiny Epic Tactics is a skirmish type game, plays 1 to 4 players with different game modes from solo, play versus and co-op. The great armies are battling across Ogmore and trying to conquer the key battlefield. It's the newest addition to their Tiny Epic series. We played the game, loved the gameplay, some components are using the box to play. This is still a prototype copy, so rules and art may not be final. To briefly show you what it is about, you control 4 warriors, fighter, beast, wizard and rogue on these gridded maps. Your objective is to score the most point, with most point coming from capturing flags. Your other points coming from things such as capturing other players' warriors, keeping your warrior alive, or standing on villagers at the end of the game. On your turn, you do 3 actions. Either you move your warriors or attack other players' warriors. Your warriors have some unique power from cards that you choose at the start of the game. There are a few cards available for each type of warrior, so each game is different. I love how the game box is used as game components and the terrain are packed neatly inside the game box. As with other Tiny Epic games, components and artwork are adorable. This game reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy Tactics console game I used to play. Some of the components that you see may be one of the stretch goals, so check out their Kickstarter page for more details. So that's Tiny Epic Tactics. The landscape is 3D, so adorable, and we enjoy the variable player power to maximize our victory. We have some videos as well for Tiny Epic Tactics on our channel, so check that out if you're interested. And thank you for watching. Until next week.
All right, guys.
Hey! We're back! Alrighty. That's the end of the... Our TV's over there. We were watching on that side.
We got caught out.
Thanks for watching another Board Game Breakfast Live. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back later on today at 2 with our top 10 themeless games. I don't have glasses to push up anymore. So we'll be talking about games that have a theme, but might as well not have had one. But we still like them. We'll see you then. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
Thank you. Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production. Sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.